I made Flappy Bird into an adventure game. I'm tired of every video making Flappy Bird in 3D, but you're still stuck in a 2D space. This project turned out incredible, and I even added something I've never done before in a video. And trust me, this could get intense. This is the ultimate Flappy Bird game. And to get started, I gotta take you guys somewhere. For this game, we start in this hub world. If you look around, you can see it sort of fits the theme of Flappy Bird, kinda like a boiler room. And also, as you can see, there are a whole bunch of pipes everywhere. I bet you're wondering what's in them. Well, each of the pipes goes into their own unique level. I don't even want to know what's in that one. But before we get into our first level, I want to show you the twist of the video. I've been trying to come up with ways for you guys to enjoy my videos a little more, so I came up with a pretty interesting idea. Let me introduce you to the wheel. This is the wheel of punishments. Before I start creating the levels, I have to spin the wheel, and this wheel will determine a punishment which I must do. It's got some crazy stuff on it, but after each level I make, the wheel punishments ramp up, going from annoying things like can't use undo button to random things like write a stupid comment and pin it, make a hideous community post, record an apology video. What?
The first thing I want to say is I'm sorry.
But towards the end, we get some of the scariest punishments. For example, if I land on this punishment, my entire project is doomed. This wheel gets crazy at the end. Honestly, I should have never come up with this idea, but for the sake of sweet YouTube retention, I did what I had to do. So let's get back to our hub world to see which level we'll be making first. This is Breezy Meadows. We start off the game in a calm, grassy plains. It's a nice way to make sure the player knows how to get a hang of the controls before the challenges get harder. But in case you were wondering, hey Jimbo, weren't you supposed to spin the wheel first? Well, let's rewind.
Okay, let's spin this wheel. Delete one random thing. Not bad.
Okay, so how this punishment works is that when I finish a scene, I have to delete one object at random. The thing about this punishment that makes it so harsh is that the object I delete could be something as small as a rock, or something important to the level, but even worse, something I just spent many hours on. Let's pray that we get lucky with this one. But before we spin, we have to create our first level. Let's start with our Flappy Bird. In the original game, it looks extremely pixelated, so I could technically get away with anything. So I stuck with my favorite art style and built our bird from the ground up, and with a few textures, we're off to a great start. For the Breezy Meadows level, I wanted to make a huge open area that you can freely move through. I created a few planes in Blender and built the mountains up in layers, which left me with this cool and stylized looking environment. I kinda just freestyled this part, but it turned out to look really good. And since it's the first level, I added a bunch of calm nature scenery like the trees, the mountains, and the rivers. For the most part, this scene was easy to make, except for my greatest enemy, grass. But I knew this scene wasn't gonna look good unless I did this one thing. While I was making the Breezy Meadows environment, I noticed how the atmosphere was limited to these low resolution images. Half the time they didn't even look good. So I went online and downloaded an add-on called Physical Atmosphere, and it looks incredible. I honestly wasn't feeling too good about this project until the add-on blew me away. But for the finishing touches, I put in these rings that we can fly through as an obstacle course. There could also be different modes to these like racing or just some flying training. And now that this project was finished, I don't know if you remember, but if we go back in time, I spun the wheel. But my punishment from the wheel spin was to delete one random object. Unfortunately, it's that time. Time to see what object we'll be destroying today. Oh. Well, that's not too bad. Rings? Alrighty, let's go into Blender, and now we have to delete. If you're still watching, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe because these videos take forever to make, so I'd appreciate the support. Also, leave a comment if you think any punishment should be added to the wheel. But now that everything's all good, all glory goes to the Lord, let's see what we've got. I'm very happy with how this scene turned out, but I feel like there's something missing. Well, that would be because if this were going to be a real game, we would need some way to customize our Flappy Bird. You know, just like every game in existence does. So I gave our bird a variety of different hats.
Drip versus stick. I like my cheese drippy, bro.
Alright, I think that's enough of that. Now on to the next level. I think this one turned out really well. The name of it is Echoing Hollows. This level is a massive interconnected cave system where each tunnel leads to a unique challenge. The players must navigate through the cave, choosing their path carefully, as each area requires a different skill to overcome. And little do we know, there may be something hiding in those tunnels. The goal is to complete all the trials to unlock the center chamber, which holds a bunch of treasure inside. This level was kind of tricky to make. I had to create the main shape, then I branched out the different tunnels. The difficult part about this was trying to work inside of another object. I found myself clipping to the wall a lot and being blocked from seeing what I'm doing. But once I had the overall shape, I added pipes which moved along the floor and the walls in the cave too. Now I brought in some rocks and a bunch of stalagmites, which are those cool spikes that hang from the ceiling. Now with these I added geometry nodes to the cave so it would multiply them with ease. Just, you know, don't accidentally create millions of these and crash your computer. But once those were in, I added these cool glowing rocks. And that should wrap up this scene. Just a quick reminder that no matter where you are in life, you're never too far from God's love. He's always ready to meet you right where you are. Okay, now that everything's in place, let's see the final render. I'm very surprised at how good all these scenes turned out. And I saved this part for the end, but I did a wheel spin before this, and check out what we landed on. What? So I gotta write a comment now. Don't even know what I'm gonna write, but I've got an idea. And also, thank you guys for all the nice comments. There's actually a bunch of you guys out there supporting the channel. I appreciate you guys so much. If you guys enjoyed this video, I've also made a Geometry Dash video in the same format. But with that, make sure to like the video, subscribe, goodbye.